So my point is, I know a lot of people are like, is that enough rifle? My argument is like the best rifle on the market is the one you shoot the best.
100%.
Like, pick the gun that you are confident in, that you shoot the best, that you know that you're going to hit where you aim. And if you make a good shot, the animal's dead. Welcome to the Cuttercast, presented by Canvas Cutter, where we leave chaos for campfires and trade deadlines for dirt roads. We dive into hunting stories, outdoor adventures, and the gear that lets you live life outside. Kick back and let's get into it.
Oh, he's like, I was freezing.
Well, the hike up and over, too, whoever made the trail has never heard of switchbacks, because it's just like straight. I'm like, bro, we could zigzag this and it'd be way better, way faster.
So, anyways.
Well, welcome to the Cuttercast. My name is Seth, and today we are joined by a very special guest, dear friend and brother-in-law, Matt Tanner. Super excited to have Matt with us. Today we're going to be talking about how we came to this caliber. I wonder if we wait to reveal the caliber for a few minutes. Maybe we will. But before we get into the episode as well, don't forget that we've got a lot of pre-orders going on right now. And Christmas really isn't that far away. So it's time to start thinking about potential gifts for family and friends and your own Christmas list. But we've got the brand new Dominator 3.0 that is out for a pre-order, and several new bundles that include the Bedrock hybrid pad that we're super excited about. The Bedrock pad is also on a pre-order. The Rem pillow is on a pre-order. Both the Bedrock pad and the Rem pillow, the order's been placed. They will be shipping, but in order to get them here, we do need to hit those quantities, which we're really, really close. The last time I checked with the Rem pillow, we were only a couple more, and it was paid for. So if you place an order for those, you will for sure be getting them before Christmas, and the first 200 orders of the Dominator 3.0 will be arriving before Christmas. So suggest you get on it. It will change your life and sleep in beautiful ways as well. But today, Matt, you grew up shooting a lot. Yeah. Your dad had an arsenal, and I think you and your dad and brothers would go shooting quite a bit, right? A lot,
yeah. I think the first memory I have of shooting, I think I was 3 with a 1022, and pulling the trigger as fast as I can.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got to.
So, yeah, I grew up shooting a lot and just fell in love with it. So
yeah, it's pretty, like, if you're a red-blooded American, I mean, shooting is just something you kind of got to do a little bit. Yeah. I grew up probably actually not shooting as much as you, but always in hunting applications. Yeah. So like grew up with the 22 planking and obviously your pellet gun and BB gun, like walking around shooting everything, going down to the store. Can you believe we used to just like ride our bikes to the store with a pellet gun? Nobody cared at all. You just walk in the store to get some new pellets. Yeah. Nobody cares. Now you go to prison.
Allen's?
Yep, Allen's.
BB guns, pellets, anything, wrist rockets, anything you wanted.
So good. So grew up doing that. Where I think my shooting elevated is, so I predominantly grew up shooting a 243, which I loved. I shot a 100 grain Game King bullet, like soft tip. Yeah. But I would load. My dad, when I was little, taught me how to reload, like when I was little.
Same.
And then he would sit there and like look at his hunting magazine and stuff, and I would sit there and reload his ammo. And then I started reloading mine, but I reloaded probably thousands of 22 250 rounds, 243 rounds, a few 300 Win Mag, because that's what he was shooting at the time for deer and elk. But we would go out to Green River and shoot prairie dogs. Ooh. And I remember, it's crazy to think about now because just the cost of ammunition and stuff is so expensive. But you would go and pick a hill and look for prairie dogs, and literally shoot hundreds of rounds. And so I would run out of my dad wasn't like flinging it as much as I was just like barrel hot, like can't touch it hot, shooting prairie dogs, which made me a good shot. Yeah, but I would run out of my 243 ammo and be like, hey, Dad, can I use your 22-250? And in a weekend, with no exaggeration, would shoot probably like 250, 300 rounds. Yeah. Which, and when you're shooting a 22-250 as a 10-year-old at a prairie dog that's 300 yards away, you start to get pretty decent as a shot. But as far as like you shot handguns and rifles, my first handgun was, you picked it for Emily my wife to buy me for Christmas. That was my first handgun. Yeah. So you've always had that love, always grew up shooting. I always loved it, grew up shooting. I feel like about 9 years ago, I started getting into archery, and it's become something that, I don't know, it's really therapeutic, and I really, really enjoy the challenge of it. And I get fairly frustrated with depending on the president, and now it feels like it doesn't even matter who's in office. Like, it's so hard to get stuff sometimes that frustrates me. So I haven't been as like I haven't been absorbing firearms as I used to, and that's also why you're here, because you still are very much absorbing it. But grew up shooting. What were some of the main rifle calibers that you used hunting? Like when you started hunting more, both of us, like shortly after I got home from Africa, both of us got a 6.5 284. Yeah. Because before I left, my dad had built a 6mm 284, and I thought it was the cat's meow. It was super fast, really flat for that, for a 6mm. Super flat. And we toasted a couple deer with it, and I was just like, ooh, I love that.
Yeah, I think John shot a deer at like, what was that, 475 yards, and just dumped it. Yeah. So me hunting, I went hunting when I was 14, right? First deer tag, didn't see a thing. Yeah. I actually was using the M1 carbine.
Were you really?
My first. My dad's like, it'll drop a deer. We just, it's slow as dirt, but it'll drop a deer. Yeah. He had this 30-06. It was too big for me. And that was my first experience deer hunting. After that, my dad stopped deer hunting, before I was born. Yeah. So we weren't major into hunting, but we shot. My dad he hunted coyotes and stuff a little bit. But I remember, like you said, sitting in a cold shed in wintertime as he reloaded. I was sitting on a stool, he was reloading. So hunting, later on, probably in high school, we would go with our pellet guns and go destroy squirrels. Yeah. And then we did 22s and stuff. And then I think while you were on your mission, I picked up a 223. Yeah. Yep. Reloaded that. I don't know if I've ever bought more than 2 or 3 boxes of factory ammo in my life. Yeah. So I've always been a reloader.
Yeah, I've never. Is that wrong of me? I have this weird pride that I've never bought factory ammo. Yeah. Like, I always reload. Yeah. And I know there's really good factory ammo out there, and a lot of people shoot it, and it's like really great. It kind of makes me feel gross to like think that I'm going to buy like factory ammo.
Well, you look at the price, even now it's way more expensive than it used to be to reload. Yeah. But even breaking down the price now, I'm like, still cheaper. Still cheaper.
And it's fun. It's so you get to like dial like
you get a tinker, which we'll talk about the round of tinkering. Yeah.
You had a 223. When did you get your 22-250?
That was after you got off your mission. I think you guys had been married for a while.
It hadn't been. Has it? Yeah. I thought you got that like relatively quick, because I remember going out to the West Desert and being like, ooh, that's sweet.
But so I had the 223, did a ton of rabbit hunting. I learned to hit rabbits on the run with that 223 pretty fast, and it was fun because there's some explosion happening. Got the 22-250 when you got home from your mission. Maybe after you guys were married. I remember coming in and I had it because I went to buy a handgun.
Yeah.
I went to buy a handgun and I was like, we saw that on the shelf and I'm like,
it was
how much
and
is
such a sweet 22-250.
And I picked it up for I think $600. You were at the house and I had it kind of sitting there. I'm like, you're gonna hate me, and I showed it to you and you're like, dude,
this is so sweet.
It's a awesome Remington when they made
amazing guns. Yeah.
And from there it just kind of exploded. We started hunting more. We picked up those 6.5 284s.
Yeah, the Savage.
I love the caliber, but I hated my gun.
Yeah, you got which one? Yours was like I got a Predator Hunter model, which is super heavy barrel fluted, and loved it. The action still bugs me. I need to take it to a gunsmith. You got the lighter.
I got the lighter version. It was a pencil thin, like stainless steel barrel. It shot pretty good, but I hated it. It was not comfortable to shoot. I was so used to my 22-250,
which was heavy.
It weighs I think it weighs 12 pounds with a scope on it and everything, because it's a 26-inch barrel, bull barrel. Anyways. Went from there, 6.5 284, shot my first deer, and that was awesome.
Yeah, in southern Utah. Yeah, that's right.
It wasn't big. It was my first deer.
It was awesome, though.
It was awesome. I hit it I want to say 230 yards, I think.
Yeah.
It came out to be. And one shot, 30 yards, it dropped.
And you didn't like the gun.
I didn't like
the gun, which led you to get a new gun and a whole new caliber as well.
So I was like, I love the 22. I loved my 22-250. It's got a what is it? HS. What is the stock? I can't remember. But it's a big stock, palm swell.
Yeah. Super
comfortable that I love to shoot. I shot that 22-50 so much I fell in love with it. So I was looking to see what Remington had, and in basically the identical setup, same build, everything came up to I wish I could remember now. It's I chose a 300 Rum in the Remington Sendero.
Yeah.
Which is basically identical to what I had as the 22-50, because I was like, it's comfortable. The ballistics of it are unreal. I grew up there was a guy down the street who hunted with a Christensen Arms and the 300 Rum. I watched all of his videos. Cool dude. And I was like, oh, takes down game, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it sure does.
Anyways, so I chose the 300 Rum, started reloading it. We were into we started
long range shooting and having fun doing that.
So much fun. And that's where I kind of fell in love with long range shooting. And then it developed. I mean, we started hunting more. I did, at least, started hunting more. And I love tinkering. I love reloading.
Yep.
And that's where
really hard to go wrong with the 300 Rum. Pretty much shoot whatever you want.
Yeah,
and
it's gonna dump.
You're gonna have a ton of energy. Yeah. I stuck with that 6.5 284 up until recent.
You had a better gun. I'm gonna say your gun was way more comfortable to shoot than mine was.
I was real confident with it. I would shoot pretty long ranges and feel confident I was going to hit what I was aiming at, which I have. I've shot a deer too far, and then
far.
I shot 3 bull elk with it and killed them right on good.
Oh yeah.
One was around about 330 yards, but then a bull that I have, he's got a drooper. His main beam just like bloop, drooped, and he has like a G1 coming off of it, and then he's a 6-point on the other side. He was right about 600 and killed him, and then I killed another bull, just a 6x6 at about 400 yards with the 6.5 284.
Yeah.
It had no problem taking down a bull elk, so and it shot really, really good, which we can talk about a little bit later. But because of archery predominantly, oh my goodness, I've shot four bull elk with that rifle, but because of archery, it changed my opinion on like trusting calibers. Like, should you shoot a bull elk with a 6.5? Yeah. Or do you need that 30 caliber? And I think that whole thing is kind of silly in the fact that this arrow is not going fast.
No.
And it's really small. And when you poke a hole through the lungs of an animal, they can't live.
No.
They're going to die.
Not very.
Now, I understand like there's a difference between like this and it running 40 yards and dying, or even 100 yards and dying, versus a 30 cal where it hits and will hopefully just dump, but not always. No, I've always.
You've been with me on several elk hunts.
Yeah.
One of which I hit. I was close. That one on the summit.
Yeah. I
hit her at, what was that, 50 yards?
Yeah.
And punched 300 Ultra Mag, 190 grain bullet going 3260 feet per second. Like, it's cooking.
It's cooking.
It punched a hole clean through her. Exit wound was about that big, and she still ran 50 yards.
Oh, yeah.
And finally dumped over. Yeah. I mean, she didn't have much left in her, but I have no idea how she made it. But there's full exit, everything.
To the point that I'm making, you shot a cow with your bow, and she went like 20 yards and died.
Tipped over. Just dump.
With like very, very little energy. Yep. Very, very small hole.
And I'm shooting way slower than you.
Yeah. So my point is, I know a lot of people are like, is that enough rifle? My argument is like the best rifle on the market is the one you shoot the best.
100%.
Like, pick the gun that you are confident in, that you shoot the best, that you know that you're going to hit where you aim. And if you make a good shot, the animal's dead. Yeah. I don't get how you have a projectile going into an animal at 1,000 feet or more a second and causing a lot of damage and it not dying.
Yeah, I mean, you call... I don't know who started. I heard the boiler room. You want to make it into that boiler room.
Yeah.
Destroy what's in there. It's going to go down. As long as you hit that good. I mean, you hit a shoulder. You hit a shoulder.
Best. You can bust a front shoulder and technically not kill them. But you make a good shot.
Yeah.
And I've actually, especially with elk and even deer, I've drifted away from that shoulder.
Yes.
I've gone back and up actually, and you hit a high lung, they dump. It's pretty crazy. I killed an elk a few weeks ago with this. It was really close, but you hit that high lung, fold. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. But Matt,
yes,
I was loving my 6.5 284, but wanted a custom rifle that I could have the rest of my life that was
lightweight.
Both of our guns were heavy. My gun is not much lighter than yours. And
I think,
what's your 300 Rem?
Maybe 11.5 pounds.
I swear mine is heavier than I thought mine was.
Yours might be closer to 12.
I think mine is heavy. Over 12. It's like 12 and a half. It's super heavy. So we wanted a lighter gun.
Yeah.
We wanted like what is just the ultimate caliber for the way we like to hunt and the animals we like to hunt, Western big game.
Yeah.
And who's going to make this gun? Because you had your Rum. I had the 6.5 284, but we wanted something new. We wanted something potentially better or a happy medium of those. Right. And when we were looking, I remember busy doing canvas cutter stuff, and in a phone call where we were talking about it, you brought up, hey, let's look at the 280 Ackley has crazy ballistics.
Yeah.
how did you come to figure that out? Because I actually never talked to you about how you really came to figure that out. You told me that, and then I had some experiences that I'll share about it. But
so I reload a ton, and not just for myself. I reload for
Matt reloads for everybody that doesn't want to reload for themselves. So
I reload for, and so my cousin, he was looking at a new gun. He was shooting a 300 Weatherby. And he was looking for a new gun, and he ended up going with a 7mm Rem Mag. Mm. And it was in that Browning makes they're a good gun. I was looking into the Browning. They were doing faster twists, so I was like, hey, why don't you look at the Browning Hell's Canyon Long Range?
Yeah.
It's a sweet gun.
Super cool gun.
So he ended up getting it, working up a load for him, and I go into the ballistic, you look at the ballistic coefficiency of a bullet, and it's for a 7mm, it's crazy awesome. Like you have the 6.5, awesome, which we loved, which has good coefficients.
For its grain weight, it has crazy coefficients.
So I was working up a load for him in that 7mm, and I'm like, dude, the 7mm
is pretty
sweet. So I started looking around. I worked up a load for him. He's shooting a 195 grain Berger Elite Hunter. So awesome. Yeah. I love when I loaded it and we were shooting, I was like, dude, this thing's money. Anyways, I was looking at that 7mm and I kind of fell in love with the ballistic coefficiency of the 7mm. And I was looking around at calibers. I was looking at, because I was like, oh, I love my 300 drum and I love the rifle. I want a 26-inch barrel, all this stuff. And there's a few, I think it's a 284. I can't remember what it's called. It's in Remington made it in that Sendero. Mm-hmm. But I was like, I don't know if I want a Sendero again. They're heavy.
Yeah.
So I started doing research and I fell upon this 280 Ackley. I was like, oh, Ackley Improved. I haven't done a ton of research, but I know the name.
Yeah, I know the name. Yep.
So started looking at it. I was like, wow. It's basically getting the speed of a 7mm, like just shy with certain bullets. And it's just awesome.
You're getting, ballistically, you're getting the performance of a 7 mag with significantly less powder and significantly less recoil,
right? Yeah.
Which less recoil often means more, not always, but can mean more accuracy because you're not flinching, your trigger pulls better and everything else. You had mentioned we should look at the 280 Ackley Improved, and I was like, oh yeah, I've heard of that. Like I've had family that's had those. And I went to the Portland Sportsman Show for Canvas Cutter there at the booth, and an old timer came by the booth, and he just kept telling me, like, you got to talk right in my ear. I'm deaf. And so I was talking to him, and in our conversation, me yelling and him talking, I was like, what did you do? And he's like, oh, I was a competition shooter for 20 years. So I'm deaf. Like I didn't wear hearing protection early on and stuff. And I was like, whoa, okay, if you've shot competitively for 20 years, you have a lot of experience around rifles and different calibers. I need to know, like, what is your all-time, like, I think I told him, give me your top 5. I only remember he mentioned in that the 243, which made me smile because I grew up plinking that, the 300 Win Mag, and his number one all around hunt whatever you want with it was the 280 Ackley Improved. And I remember calling you shortly after because here's this guy who shot for 20 years, has tons of experience, and his number one favorite round for hunting and shooting whatever you want is the 280 Ackley. He's like, it's extremely accurate. It has really good coefficiency, and it has a good punch too, a lot of energy. And so I called you, stoked about that. And then everybody that I knew or that I watched videos on that were serious riflemen and shooters, the 280 Ackley was always in their top 3 of their favorite. Like, you can't not have it, which I was just like, dang, let's get a 280. Yeah. And so after that, for probably 2 years,
or so,
we would, at Western Hunt, we would leave the Canvas Cutter booth and go down to the Christensen Arms booth and look at their rifles. They make really, really good rifles.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When I started looking at the 280 Ackley, no one was really producing it. Yeah. I think Savage kind of started. There might have been one in a Browning, but Christensen had them.
And they had them in the best looking and feeling guns, right?
Yeah.
What was the first one? The Traverse. The Traverse was the first one that we were drooling over.
It's got that Monte Carlo stock, super comfortable.
It's so comfortable. We loved it. We were like, oh, one day we're going to get
Seriously.
it. And then we went down there and they had the Ridge line.
Mm-hmm.
Did they have the 280 in a Mesa?
Yeah, so I was looking at, because we were serious. We were
super serious.
We were talking to Jeff. And when the year
super
before.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Jeff, if you ever listen to this, you're a stud. We love you. Okay.
Yeah. So the year before we had been talking to him and he's like, well, what are you looking at? And we were like, the 280 Ackley.
This was the other one. He's like, you guys are serious shooters. You know what you're doing. He's like, everybody who wants a 280 is a serious shooter.
Yeah. So we looked at him. And I started looking at it because I'm like, I want a 26-inch barrel.
Yeah, so
I want the 26-inch
that's
barrel.
Where we were at.
I want this. Started doing more and more research.
Which was frustrating to us because we both wanted a 26-inch barrel and everybody was going to 22.
Yeah.
The opposite direction.
Yeah. And I was like, why is it in 22? Because longer barrel, more speed, more accuracy.
Yeah.
But we ended up going with the FFT.
You were researching that, and the argument was the difference between 22 and 26
it's not much more.
It's not significant enough to be concerned.
Especially with the bullets I was looking at.
Yeah.
I was looking at the weight of bullets I was looking at. I was like, okay. I looked at tons of forums, watched videos. I was reading everything I could about the 280 Ackley. Because when I get into something, I'm like,
get into it.
I get into it, especially when it comes to guns.
Yes.
I love it.
And we've shot burgers for burger bullets since they came out. Yeah. Really loved them. All the elk that I had shot until this year have been with a burger bullet. Yeah. Performed awesome. Performed great. So finally, the time comes that we're able to get our guns. But before we get into the build, and we got these a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Let's talk briefly about the history of the 280 Ackley. I will do my best, and you fill in where I mess up. But the 280 Ackley actually started in 1957. They took a 30-06 round and necked it down to a 7mm, and from that they made a 280 Remington, which is this right here, the 280 Remington. And I'll get some shots of these, but they made the 280 Remington. P.O. Ackley, a gunsmith, took the 280 Remington in the late 50s, early 60s.
60. I think he started doing about 64s when he finally
got it done.
Yeah.
What P.O. Ackley did was he straightened the casing out, and then he took the biggest difference was he took the shoulder to a 40 degree. Doing those two things allowed for more powder and better powder burn, which increased the speed from the 280 Remington to over 100 feet a second, and you got better burn efficiency. So I know most people listening already know, but in case there are those who don't, when that primer's hit and that powder starts to burn and causes the explosion, you actually, depending on the casing, the bullets out of the barrel, you actually can just waste a ton of powder. With this straighter neck, you get a lot of powder actually just blowing down the barrel before it can burn. And so by taking it to a 40-degree shoulder, you actually get better burn efficiency because it forces the powder to stay in there longer. So you get a purer burn, which is going to increase your speeds and your energy and everything else. But from that, we have this thing, and in 2008
Nosler
Nosler
pushed it to the, I can't remember the full name of,
it's the Sammy
there it is,
SAMM or SAAMI.
Yes.
I don't know,
and that's when it was approved.
That's when it was approved for market.
So.
Yeah, because it was a Wildcat round. Nosler really pushed it. Fred Huntington came out with a version that was similar but slightly different, but it was the Ackley Improved. He was improving on the 280 Remington, so it was the Ackley Improved. That's 2008 is when it became available for other gun manufacturers.
Commercial use or whatever it is.
Yeah, lies it.
So.
But the benefits of it is you get, like we already mentioned, very similar ballistic data to the 7mm mag, but you're using significantly less powder and there's less recoil.
Yep.
So,
and that's what I was looking at something because I was like, I still like my
love your
my
rum.
rum. I do. I love it.
The
Shoots
rum lets you
amazing.
know when you pull the trigger.
It's true. Has a break on it, but it still kicks. And I was looking at it and I was like, you know what? I don't want another Magnum. The 7 PRC came out basically a Magnum.
A Magnum.
I think it is. And then the 228 Nosler.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. 28 Nosler, basically a Magnum.
It is a That's a monster.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong. It shoots. It is the fastest 7mm cartridge out there.
Yeah, we're not bagging on any cartridges. I'm not bagging on anything. If any of those are like your favorite, I will high five you because I think they're incredible as well. I wouldn't mind having one, but like,
I didn't want another Magnum, so I was like, you know what? It's shooting Magnum speeds of that.
Yep.
In a smaller package.
And more economic. Like when you're putting in the amount of powder in this versus like a rum, you're almost half.
I am 91 grains of powder in my rum. 91 grains.
91. That is so wild to me.
And this is significantly less.
Significantly less. We decided with the Ridgeline, Christensen Arms, 280 Ackley Improved. We were super stoked on it. What did you go with as far as your gun setup? Rifle, bipod, what are you doing?
So I went because I wanted to cut weight, and we did the research about the barrel length and everything. And then they came out, Christensen that year, when we were serious about going and doing it, they came out with Ridgeline FFT, which comes in at like 5.3 or 5.5 pounds. It's super light.
So light, especially when you're used to packing a 12-pound gun.
When we picked up the box to grab these at the factory, like, is the
gun in there?
Is there anything in there? Because I'm used to a 10-pound gun. Anyways, we went with the FFT just because the weight, the barrel length was good. It came with the nicer brake versus the full, whatever. Came with this brake. And it came in the caliber we wanted, the cartridge we wanted, the caliber and cartridge we wanted, which was the 280 Ackley. Went with this.
You're shooting an Element Optics scope.
I'm shooting an Element Optics Titan 3-18. It's a first focal plane.
Really loved it.
I kind of fell in love with it just because.
Well, you can't beat the price.
You can't beat the price because one, I found it on sale for almost $300 less than its originally sells for. And I actually watched a video on what's his name? Backfire.
Yeah, Backfire.
Who does some awesome testing. He tested this. I already had an Element Optics on this. It was a 2-16, a little lighter, but I was like, I want a little more power. So I went with the 18. He did these tests, and I was like,
you can't beat it.
You can't beat it. No.
Because is that the one? I think I sent you one.
You sent me the video
where he's like throwing it in a pool. He's hitting it on things. He's like doing all kinds of things.
He did the tests on this, and certain manufacturers wouldn't even send him a scope. So I was like, if these guys are willing to do it, and it comes out on top, it's got to be awesome. It's got to be
pretty good.
Yeah. Love the reticle. I've never shot a first focal plane. You started shooting before I did.
Yeah.
So after shooting this, I've shot quite a bit out of this gun already. Kind of fell in love with the gun, the scope, and the gun. But I've got the Element Optics Titan. I've got a bubble level for my cant.
What rings do you have?
I'm using the Warren.
Warren rings.
They're Warren rings and a Warren base. They're higher end rings. It's a 34 millimeter tube, 50 mil objective.
What's your bipod?
So this is just a Caldwell. It's like $100.
You have that Caldwell. You predominantly use the shooting sticks.
I do. I use my shooting sticks. Did I not? I should have brought them over here. So this is what I use when I go shoot.
Yeah,
at a range. I rarely shoot this on a hunt. I don't ever.
I'll grab them.
Okay. I don't ever use that on a hunt. If I decide to lay down and shoot, I'm just going to throw my bag out. But
these are what?
This is what we've been using for ever.
A long time.
These are
since high school.
Yeah. Yeah, because you and your dad got them.
Well, it hasn't been that long. We're not that old. But
anyways.
It's been a long time.
They're a lightweight bipod.
Super awesome. Just fold down almost like a bedroll pole.
So you see the poles there. Comes out to here. This is a Snipe Pod by Kramer Design. Just
clips on to the front up there.
Yeah, you get a little thing that hooks on your sling swivel.
Yeah.
And it's my go-to because I can sit down. I've shot that deer I shot with my 300 was 575, and I shot off of these, and I've always just keep these with me.
So perfect for predator hunting, deer, elk. You can clip it on and off really easy.
Super.
They fold up,
and
compact,
the weight
weighs almost nothing.
Because these are pretty light, but you can't beat that.
Yeah, yeah. Those are sweet.
So,
used those for quite a while.
Yeah, I actually have the connection on every gun I have that I use. My 22-250, 300 Rem, my 30-06. I also have a 6.5 Creedmoor. I use those on all of those. So.
Yeah. I went with the Maven RS4. It's a 5-30, a 56 millimeter objective up top. First focal plane. Love the reticles. Always have. I've always been a Maven fan. I think they make really, really good optics. And the warranty and everything else, just really, really like it. Went with the Christensen Arms HD tactical scope clamps, and then the Christensen Arms base as well. And then I've got the Atlas bipod, which I've usually have always had one of the Snipe pods. I really, really like this bipod. It's gives you enough range if you need to, and it's fairly unlevel, and I love that you can individually adjust each leg, right? So if you're on a hill or it's canted, and then the way they fold up, it just gives you can fold them down, gives you a wide variety. It will pivot too with you. It's a little stiffer, but it allows you to pivot if you need to, so you're not canted. And with these Christensen Arms tactical rings, scope rings, they've got a bubble on the side as well. But thoroughly have enjoyed it, been really impressed with the scope and with the bipod. I've never had a bipod like this. I've always done the shooting sticks, but I've enjoyed it so far. As far as your load, what do you got? What are you using as far as primer, brass? What powder are you using? Bullet grain.
I am using, for the casing, I'm using the Peterson brass, which is, when you do the research, everybody's like,
such good brass.
Spend the extra money. Like, Nozzler's, I think, more expensive, actually. But they're like, the Peterson brass is awesome. It's great out there. One of the best manufacturers out there for this. Primer, the 210 Federal Match Grade primer. I'm using H1000. I actually got my load data from Nosler. So I'm using H1000. And I'm shooting a 175 grain Berger Elite Hunter.
See, and you had started building out your load
before I even had the gun.
Before you even had the gun, and so you were way ahead of me because we had the gun several months before I even started building up a load for it. But by the time I started, the 175 Berger bullet could not be found.
Oh no! I actually emailed Berger. They're like, okay, late October, and it's like, well, that's after all the hunts.
Yeah, well,
I had a box. I think I had one box, not even a full box, because I had used from working up a load for somebody else. They didn't want it, so I was like, I'll use those.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had the brass, the bullets, everything bought before we even had the gun. It's like, I'm getting this.
I have the same primer, that Federal 210 match grade primer, same brass, Peterson brass. Loved it. Like, it's crazy. I've shot through them at least twice, and you couldn't tell. Like, neck looks really, really good. And then I'm shooting the H4831 shortcut. That's what I was shooting out of my 284, my 6.5 284. Loved it. And I had a bunch of it, so that's what I started to build up a load. Same, using Nosler's data. I couldn't get the Berger bullet at that time, and I was talking to Riley at the bow shop, who I trust. The guy's killed a lot of things with every weapon you can think of. He has a 280. He's hunted with it substantially, and I asked him, like, what bullet are you shooting? And he said the Nosler ballistic tip 160. The 160 grain ballistic tip.
They shoot great. Those bullets do shoot really good.
And I was like, really? Like, did you shoot elk with it? And he would, like, laugh. He's like, yeah. And I'm like, and it does good? He's like, yep, never had a problem. They shoot great. So I got a couple boxes of the 160 grain Nosler ballistic tip. I was a bit hesitant because I'm just so used to the Berger.
Yeah.
We're such Berger fans.
Yeah.
Went and shot and sighted her in. What was super interesting to me is, and this is where reloading is so fun to us who like to tinker, is every time I backed it down, so I wasn't even close to max grains.
Yeah. I'm close to max.
You're very close to max.
But safe.
But safe. But I every time I seemed like I backed a half a grain out, my group got tighter.
Yeah.
Which is somewhat frustrating. I also know that I probably could have added a half a grain and maybe gone faster and had them do the same thing. But for whatever reason, this bullet, this gun, liked it a little slower. Yeah. So I was started at about 2,900 feet a second, and now I'm at 2,780 is where I ended up.
Yeah.
Every time I cut a half a grain, she just liked it more and more. And she is shooting really tight groups with this bullet. And like I said, I shot a bull elk a couple weeks ago with it, 65 yards. So that's not saying a whole lot, but dumped it like a bag of rocks.
And I was the same. So I actually used those bullets to break the barrel in. And I shot 15 to 20 rounds of that. And I kid you not, right off the bat, I was
tight.
MOA, like under, what do they call it?
MOA.
MOA. I was under that.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang, maybe I should use that. And I was using the same powder, the 4831 shortcut, and I tried to use it with this, and it just wouldn't work. I hated it. I was like, man, this sucks, because I have a ton of it.
Yeah.
And then so I looked at Nosler, up I looked at theirs and they're like H1000. I was like, oh, I've got.
You also had one H1000.
That's what I used for my 300 drum, and mine was the opposite. I had to increase.
The more you increased, the tighter it got.
I got tighter and tighter.
Which kind of actually, now that I'm thinking about it, kind of makes logical sense to me just for how long the burger is,
so
right? The
longer.
ogive is so long on the burger, where this bullet, if we were to have them out of the casing standing next to one another, that one's significantly longer.
Super long.
So I wonder if increasing those speeds just created better balance for it.
Like I said, I went with the Nosler data.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, Nosler just seems...
Nosler's pretty on it.
It's pretty on it. Everything I've ever done, I've always kind of looked towards Nosler. I kind of look everywhere.
I agree. We looked at the burger book, but Nosler just seems to be like pretty consistent.
It's crazy. And usually I usually shoot a little faster.
Yeah, than what they say.
Maybe it's just where they test. I don't know. But this bull, I've got it going 2,800 feet per second.
Yeah.
So
so you're 15 grains heavier, going about 20 feet a second faster. Yeah. Shoots awesome. So
great.
What have you shot with the 280 so far? And again, we haven't had these super long, only a couple years.
Yeah,
and I have been bow hunting probably too much, and last year I had opportunities multiple to shoot deer, and I was being ignorant.
Who said, hey, me and John will both shoot?
Matt and John, I was sending them pictures. Should I shoot this buck? Yes, go shoot it.
Yeah.
And I should have. There were 4 bucks. I should have shot all 4 of them.
From what I understand, it would have sucked to get there.
It would have been terrible to get there. But they were anyways, regrets. They were better bucks than I initially thought. But what have you shot?
I hunted cow elk last year, and I always am like, look, most kills happen between 100 to 200 yards.
Yeah, my dad says that all the time, and I'm like, no, I want to shoot further. Yeah. And then almost every kill I have, except for like 5 are under 100 yards.
So I ended up hitting a cow. I think it was about, I want to say 120 yards, and I hit her, and I'm used to my 300 rum. Yeah. This is the first time I've shot this. My 300, every time I've killed an animal other than a couple deer, they hit it and they just move.
Take off.
It's crazy weird.
And you're making a really good shot.
Fantastic shot. When we open them up, because I usually get the heart out. I think there's a video of that somewhere.
Yeah.
I usually get the heart out, and when I open that cavity up, it just dumps, and there's the lungs are gone.
The lungs are,
because the way the burger is designed is just to
get in there and
destroy.
Maximum expansion. And
that's the one thing I noticed. I shot this cow, and she kind of walked 20 yards. I could see blood just gushing, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna put one more in her just to finish. Right? Shot her again. She dumped. So that was my experience with this. Again, closer range, 120 yards. And I've always been like, look, I'm good at between 100 and 800 yards with this gun.
Yep.
I mean, I haven't been put to the test, but I can shoot pretty good out to 800. Well, I've shot further. But, like I said, I set it up to do that because it's Western hunting.
It's Western hunting.
You never know what range you're going to be at.
When I first started hunting in Utah, there is a canyon that I still hunt to this day. In fact, where those bucks were last year was just a canyon over from this canyon, and the closest shot was over 400 yards. It was like 420 yards. Where they typically went across this shell slide, these bucks, was closer to like 450 or 550. Sorry. So when I grew up shooting the 243. My gun at 100 yards was like 5 inches high, because where we hunted, the closest shot I was going to have was like 300 yards.
Yeah.
It was just like, that was just the nature of it. And so I never got an opportunity to shoot a deer there, but
I should clarify something with my 300 Rem. I said when it was hitting those, they were taking off. They didn't go very far.
Yeah.
They just, for some weird reason, I don't know if it's the kinetic energy. They just freak out. Where this one's a little slower and a little smaller. I don't know. Maybe somebody out there can tell us.
Less of a initial.
Yeah, because I mean, my 300 Rem is like at 100 yards. I've got like 3,000 foot-pounds still. It's unreal.
Yeah, that's pretty.
But I don't know.
Crazy.
They all died within 20 to 30 yards. So
yeah. And both both of us are looking forward to opportunities to absolutely. Deer, elk at a little further ranges than 65 and 100 yards, but both super positive experiences. Like one shot and that bull was done. And if you can get closer, get closer. Yeah. Definitely doesn't hurt, but. That's kind of our experience. That's how we came to the 280. I can't recommend it enough. I've loved it so far. Everything that I've read and studied says that it is a caliber worth having. But again, just to emphasize, the best caliber for you to have is the one that you shoot the best. Like that's just, and there are so many options,
so many great,
that are incredible, awesome. But when you look at the economics, when you look at the performance, it's really, really hard not to have the 280 Ackley Improved in that top three sure. that you should always be considering to take with you.
Yeah.
Anything else, Matt? Did we miss anything?
I don't think so.
Let us know in the comments below what your favorite caliber is. Let us know if you have any secrets for the 280 that you want to share with us that will improve our experience. And if you're thinking about getting another gun, the only thing right now that I'm thinking of that won't replace it, it will just potentially be next to the 280 is right now we're looking at the 300 Tejas, which is the opposite
of
economics. It's
basically
kind of absurdity.
It's the 300 Rem improved. That's what it is, and it's the improved part makes a big difference. Like
our initial information screams that it has like hard to fathom potential though.
The Tejas
when you're shooting maybe what people would consider a lighter grain bullet, but I mean the guy who invented it's shooting 160 grain bullet at over 4,000 feet a second, which is he just took back the record from the Russians for the longest distance shot. He shot over 3.5 miles and hit a target, which is insane. But anyways, hope that you enjoyed this episode. Again, let us know in the comments below what your favorite caliber is. You got to go to. And if you have any information on the 280 Ackley that you can share with me and Matt to help us out, let us know. And as always, keep on keeping on.